Hello YouTubers. Perhaps like me you've heard the news recently that a very large number of individual Muslim clerics and leaders and theologians have got together and formed a group and have written letters to various Christian leaders of various denominations throughout the world, saying to them, look, come on, we worship the same God, can we get together and come to some agreement, discuss things? And all of this sounds incredibly reasonable, and to a world that quite frankly is sick and tired of Muslim extremism and the bombings by suicide bombers in various places of the world, and in Muslim countries as well as in countries which are of no faith or of Christian faith or some other faith. This sounds good, but there's only one problem, and that is the issue is not whether or not you or I worship the same God. The issue is, do I allow you the freedom to worship your God, and do you allow me the freedom to worship mine? And let me explain what I mean. You see, when a Muslim says that we worship the same God, then I really think he needs to check out the Quran. In the Quran, it specifically says this about Jesus, that the Messiah, son of Mary, is but an apostle. Other apostles have flourished before him, and so on. The word apostle is Greek, and it simply means a sent one. There is no aspect of divinity in that at all. He's simply a sent one, somebody who's got a message to give. Hence, many people have heard of Paul the Apostle, and that Jesus, the men he selected were called apostles. And today in the Christian church, the various branches of it, people will recognize some men and some women and say, look, they have an apostle ministry. And they go out and teach people about Christianity. That's an apostle. Now the Quran clearly states that that's what Jesus was. A sent one with a message. But this is what the Bible says about Jesus. You're my son, today I have begotten you. And that's God speaking. You're my son. So God says in the Bible that Jesus is his son. And furthermore, it says, but of the son, he says, that is God says, your throne, O God, is forever and ever. In other words, in the Bible, God calls Jesus God. Now that statement would be very offensive to Muslims. It would be very offensive to a lot of people. It would be very offensive to people who don't believe in God. It would be offensive to atheists. My contention is this. What we should be seeking for is the ability to say, look, men live by very many different philosophies, and they choose to believe different things. Now, I do believe what I believe is right, because if I didn't believe that, it would mean I'd be an absolute fool. And therefore, if somebody says to me, this is what I live by and this is what I believe, I may not agree with them, but at least I give them the credit of saying, well, fine, if that's what you believe, live like that. Personally, I think this is the way you should live, this is what you should believe in, but if that's what you believe, that's great. That's for you. So I think that when we hear people calling for talks, discussions, to find common ground, the common ground we have is that we're humans, The common ground that a lot of us have, not all of us, but a lot of us have, is that we do believe in a deity. We do believe that there is something greater than humanity that created everything that we see around us. The form that that creator takes is down to faith, and faith is the essence of what we believe. It's what we ourselves are personally convinced of. And many people come to faith or come to a particular faith simply because they were born into a family and they say, this is what we've done, this is what we believe, this is what we've always done. And they don't question it, and they just carry on living like that. Others have a personal experience which makes them consider, hey, I think I've just met with something bigger than me. I'll call it God. I've met with God in this way. And it's within that framework that they've had that experience. They'll do it. Some people will read a holy book, and in the context of many people, that would be the Bible. They'll pick up the Bible, and they'll say, okay, God, if you're real, it says here, you love me, show me you love me. It says here that Jesus is alive, or Jesus, just will make yourself known to me. And in the experiences that follow such things, then they begin to say, well, wow, there is somebody there outside of myself. So, there we are. You see, it's not a question of trying to syncretize our beliefs to get down to a lowest common denominator that we can all agree with. That isn't the issue at all. The issue is respect.